In color, the continuing story of Peyton Place. Starring Dorothy Malone as Constance Mackenzie, Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi, Ryan O'Neill as Rodney Harrington, Barbara Parkins as Betty Anderson, Tim O'Connor as Elliot Carson, Christopher Connolly as Norman Harrington, Patricia Morrow as Rita Harrington, James Douglas as Stephen Cord.
The long night for Elliot Carson is at an end. He has received word from Dr. Michael Rossi that Rachel Wells has awakened from a sedated sleep. The night began when Rachel left his house, determined to avoid his interrogation on the subject of his missing daughter, Allison. He grew more concerned when he realized that Rachel, too, had disappeared. Rachel's reasons for leaving and exactly what happened to her while she was gone are known at this moment only to her.
You feeling better?
A little groggy.
That's the effects of the pills you'll wear off. Oh, now, wait a minute. That's just probably Elliot.
I told you, I can't see him. I can't go back there.
Now, you can talk to him. I think you owe him that much, huh? Hello, Elliot.
Mike. Is she all right?
Yeah, I think so.
Think I can take her home?
Yeah, sure. I think you're going to have to talk to her first, though.
Oh. Well, can I go in?
Yeah, listen, don't pressure her or anything. No questions.
Oh, of course not.
Okay.
I'd like to take you home with me, Rachel, if you'll let me.
I won't come.
Well, at least let me talk to you. I'd like to ask you.
Please, don't start asking me things.
No, I want to ask you to forgive me. I've done a terrible thing. I drove you away. And I'm very sorry. I want you to come home with me.
I can't. You don't understand.
Look, Rachel, I brought you to my house under false pretenses. Not Mrs. Carson. No, she brought you there because she was concerned about you. She was concerned with your well-being. And she wanted to make a home for you and everything that goes with it. But I wanted you there because I wanted to keep an eye on you. I thought you had some information about Allison that you were holding back. Rachel, there are a few things about me I think you should understand.
There's nothing to understand. You didn't trust me and you still don't.
Now, Rachel, I've got so much to learn about trusting people. I have to erase 18 years of my life. 18 years that I spent in the penitentiary. You knew that, didn't you? There were years spent with mistrust and with suspicion, you see. Well, it's not an easy thing to do, to wash away all those attitudes, even in 2 years. And that's why I need your help.
I can't help you.
Yes, you can. By giving me the opportunity to provide you with the love and the protection that I should have given you when you first came to live with us.
Stop it.
Rachel, listen. You know how much Allison meant to me. Do you also know that I was responsible for driving her away?
Don't tell me about it. I don't want to hear about her.
But you have to understand this, Rachel. In my desperation to find Allison, in my desperation to find where she was, what happened to it, any shred of evidence about it, I didn't care about anyone, about hurting even you. That was wrong of me. I know that now. But if you come back, if you come home, I promise you nothing like that will ever happen again.
Please, just go away.
I can't say that I blame you, really. Oh, Rachel, isn't there anything I can say at all? Supposing I get Mrs. Carson here.
No, I don't want to see Mrs. Carson. They're going to find me a place to live. Some place where I don't know anyone.
Is that what you want, to live with strangers?
Yes, it is.
Oh, Rachel. Have I hurt you so deeply that you can't possibly forgive me? I don't know what else to say. I want to provide a home for you, to care for you, to protect you, to love you. I beg you.
Mr. Carson.
You know what this is, don't you?
It's Allison's bracelet.
Has an inscription on it, too. I watch over those I love. Here, take it.
Oh, I couldn't.
No, I want you to have it.
Mr. Carson. Do you think that baby Matthew would be glad to see me?
Welcome home,
Mrs. Carson. Oh, thank you.
Well, this is great weather for snowmen, but I sure like to stand by that fireplace myself. How about some coffee?
It's in the kitchen.
Want to join me?
Please.
How about you, Rachel?
No, thanks. I think I'd like to just go up to my room. Well, to the room and rest for a while, if that's all right.
It is your room, Rachel.
More than that, young lady. This whole house is yours for as long as you want to be part of it.
That could be for a very long time.
Well, we're planning on it. I'll get the coffee.
I'll go up with you.
All right. Mrs. Carson, did you ask Mr. Carson to come after me?
No. He went to you himself.
I didn't ever want to lie to him.
I know.
He really did want me to come here, didn't he?
Very much. So did I.
He gave me this. He said it was mine now.
Then you know how much he wanted you back.
Oh, my room. I love it. I love everything about it. May I do something?
What? And you rest well now, hmm?
Everything all right?
Perfect.
You know, I gave her Allison's bracelet.
She showed it to me.
You don't mind?
Not at all.
You know, Connie, what I did. I mean, what happened, you know, to us. All I could think about was Allison. And whenever I felt I took a step forward, I also felt as if I slipped back 2 steps. I knew I was losing something, but I didn't know what it was. And suddenly when I realized I couldn't think about Allison anymore, all I could think about was you.
You didn't bring Rachel back just to please me.
Oh, no, not because of you, not because of me, not because of Allison, not even just because of Rachel. You see, Connie, it's so simple. To me, Rachel feels like part of this family. And it's such a wonderful family.
Open it, Betty. Start clockwise. Are you nervous?
The only thing I've ever posed for is a graduation photograph for the high school annual. To think of sitting for an oil portrait by a famous artist is a little like, well, it's very exciting.
Now, open it. There's a small, thin, velvet-colored box on the right-hand side. Take it out.
What is it?
Why don't you look?
It's Catherine's necklace, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The one she wore in the portrait you had of her in the living room.
It's a work of art in itself, Betty. 15th century Florentine.
I won't wear it.
Oh, you're being absurd.
Am I, Mr. Peyton, or are you?
What are you talking about?
You're trying to make me into something I'm really not. You want a portrait of me to hang in the living room, a portrait that looks as much like your daughter as you can possibly make it.
Aren't you forgetting something, Betty? The portrait is to be your birthday gift to Stephen.
At your suggestion, your expense, and your arrangements. Mr. Peyton, I'm not Catherine. You can't recreate her by dressing me in a gown like hers and hanging her jewelry around my neck.
I'm fully aware of your identity, Betty. I have no desire to recreate my daughter in you.
But why the gown? Why the necklace? Why the portrait at all?
All right, Betty. Perhaps I do want a substitute for my daughter. Perhaps I want to think that there's someone who's not just a housekeeper who's looking after my affairs. Someone I can feel something for. Someone I'd like to believe could feel something for me. Now, is that too much to ask for? There. You and the necklace will set each other off very nicely. Let's see. Yes, you're very good for each other. We're keeping the artist waiting.